Stummy West Coast Rob, man, and welcome to my podcast, You Bitch.
You are now listening to YeahDat, the podcast, hosted by West Coast Rob.
Before we begin, the thoughts, views, and opinions you may hear on this show are just that, my thoughts, my views, and my opinions. So if you don't like them, disagree with them, or whatever the case may be, well, there's a simple solution to all that, and that's just stop listening. But if you aren't easily offended and eager to partake in a conversation, well, then just sit back, turn it up, and enjoy the show. Yeah, that. What is good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of YeahDat, the podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Rob. And for those of you out there on the tube watching me, you know what I'm saying? You see the get up. I'm feeling real Padres right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling real Ken Caminetti, real Steve Findley. You know what I'm saying? Real Tony Gwynn. You know what I'm saying? With the with the blender shades, with the blue SD fitted, the blue shirt. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like I'm a Padre right now. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you watching, you know what I'm saying? I know you dig. These are like my favorite blenders shades right here. These are the Jade Masters. You know what I'm saying? And you can get them at blenderseyewear.com using promo code West Coast Rob, one word, and save you some money, man. Yeah, that. But welcome back to another episode, man. Of YeahDat, the podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Roberto. Like I said, coming off of the unofficial end of summer weekend, Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a great weekend this weekend. It was a long weekend, so I hope you guys had an eventful long weekend. I know me personally, myself, I had a long weekend. However, I didn't get to just chill or parlay like I wanted to because my daughter had a soccer tournament about an hour and some change away. So we had two games on Saturday, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So it was just constant driving back and forth to and from, going through tolls, sitting in heat, watching, cheering, you know. Uh, she did well. It started off the team and it started off kind of sketch, but they she came, she had a coming out party, you know, and scored her first goal with the new club, which was cool, which was enough to send us to the semis or whatever. We ended up making it to the championship game on Sunday, and we ended up losing in the championship game because it was two games that day. We had no subs. It was hot. Team was just tired. I had a couple of parents come to me after the game talking about her, saying she left it all on the field. You guys have nothing to be ashamed of. You should be proud because she did everything she could, so, which was cool, because my wife and I were like, we really wanted to beat the team and because of the parents and stuff like that. But for a couple of the parents to come up and say that was like cool. I was like, congratulations, y'all, congratulations. But it was a long Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Actually, it was a long Saturday and Sunday, and then yesterday, Monday, got together with the neighbors. Had a nice little gathering, get together, a little kickback, grilled some food, had some beverages, and played some cornhole. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to earn that ACL pro card. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that don't know what ACL is, it's the American Cornhole League, which is a professional cornhole league, pro league. And I mean, you guys, you can't get mad at them dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? The pro cornhole players, they took a fucking uh, backyard game and got some sponsors and shit and are getting paid for it. Like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if there's like a professional horseshoe league. You know what I'm saying? Or the game where you have to, which I've never seen anybody else play this. I've seen the game and I've played it once or twice at my brother-in-law's house during 4th of July. It's these three, it's like these three bars, and you have these two balls attached with a rope, and it's kind of like cornhole the distance wise. So I'd have my own little three bar tier thingamajig beside me. You have yours, and I'd take these roped balls and toss it and try to tangle them up on your bars. And each bar is a specific amount of points. Like the top bar is either the most or the less, or vice versa. So I don't know what that game is called, but I wonder if there's a professional shit to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like nowadays you can be a pro on to a lot of things that weren't necessarily or weren't offered back in the day. Like for me growing up, it was if you're a pro, you're going to be a pro sports athlete in the typical sports: basketball, baseball, football, hockey. What did I say? Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, soccer, and yeah, those are it. Like those are the only things. Bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? uh, Cycling, like the major sports that we all know. Nowadays, you can be a professional cornhole player. Like, and it's funny. So my neighbor has some Rogue Fitness cornhole boards, and I didn't even know about cornhole until I joined the military because everybody plays cornhole all of a sudden, or something. So everyone plays cornhole, and I still to this day don't even know the rules. So I was out there playing cornhole with my daughters, and then my neighbor's daughters were out there trying to explain the rules to me, saying it's a certain amount of points if you make the bag in. But I don't know if there's like points for the board. Like if you get the bag on the board, I don't know. So for those of you out there, them avid cornhole players, drop me a drop me a brief rundown of the rules in the comments. Or for those of you out there listening, shoot me a DM on IG or message me on Twitter at West Coast underscore Rob, and let me know. Let me know the basic rules, the basic rundown of cornhole. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. Why not? Why not try to become pro in some shit like that? You know what I mean? And my daughter. So we were my youngest daughter. We were outside, and we were getting ready to. Oh no, we were inside and we were talking. And we were just talking about cornhole, and my daughter goes, "Is that a sport?" So then I look at her and I was like, I hit her with that emoji, the hands out to the side, shoulder shrug. I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's out. Can you be? I guess it is because you can't fucking be a professional. I mean, I don't know. Shit. So for you pro cornholers out there, no offense to you guys. You know what I'm saying? School me. Because I'm always a sponge eager to wanting to learn some new stuff. So actually, I'm gonna research some cornhole, like professional cornhole players, and I'm gonna get them on the podcast, man, for real. I'm about to find a professional cornhole player, and I am going to get them on the podcast so they can explain the whole process of cornhole, being a professional, what it's like to be a professional, and all that stuff. So if you are are eager to see that and want to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Give me a like, give me a fucking thumbs up or whatever. Give me a hell yeah in your stone cold voice, whatever. But That's gonna be a future guest. Watch, trust me, because and that's crazy because we were playing cornhole yesterday, and last night when I was in bed, like my wife was asleep, and she falls asleep. I'll stay up a little bit. I'll watch a little television. You know what I'm saying? And fucking ACL was on the fucking cornhole shit, and it was a tandem. It was like a team, the two team things or whatever. And I was just sitting there watching the dudes and like how they fucking handle the bags before they toss them and shit. And them motherfuckers are good as fuck. Like they showed the pair of guys going against each other the first time. They finished throwing all their fucking bags. Then they swapped to the other two on the other side. And them fools were like boom, 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 boom. Made all of them in. And then it went back to the other team. And them fools were throwing. And the bags were like on the edge of the hole and shit. Then one of the guys had one more toss, and the announcers are like, "Oh my god, he has to go aerial right here." You know what I'm saying? If it's the only option because if he doesn't go aerial and he misses the board, then they're gonna lose. And this fool tosses the fucking bag and it goes right in the hole. And they're like, "Oh shit. That was a risky, ballsy move he did because if he misses the board, then they lose." So I'm like, damn, there's rules and fucking moves and all that shit to this little thing, man. So I'm very interested, as you could say, or you can say very interested. So, but like I said, long weekend. It was a good weekend. So I come in today, wake up Tuesday morning. You know what I'm saying? Just a blessing to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Happy to wake up, and exhausted, exhausted. And I don't know if it's due to the weekend or it's due to the beverages I had last night, or maybe it's because the sleep aid I took. Maybe I took it a little too late, but who knows? Woke up this morning not wanting to fucking get out of bed. Like, oh my god! So I was just taking my time. You know, got to work a little late, but I can do that because I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm in a position where I'm a little flexible. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to do some things. So I went in a little late, went to work, did some work stuff, and then I hit that old dusty trail and came home. You know what I'm saying? So right now I feel all right. I was laying on the couch earlier, picked up my oldest from school, try to help her sign into Canvas and all whatever. With school nowadays too, it's crazy because they got all this new technology and all these different fucking platforms they got to use for different assignments and shit. So I was still trying to figure that out my damn self. So I was doing that and watch my little bro stream on Twitch. Check out the Empty Orchestra on Twitch.tv and you know what I'm saying? Go support the homie. You know what I mean? He plays old school games. So I was watching him and then I was like, yo, I got to do my motherfucking cast, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to do it last night. I still got to edit the last episode of Three-Way Street Podcast, which if you haven't already check that out on Spotify and all other podcast platforms. Give it a listen. It's a show with me, my two little bros, fucking Empty Orchestra and aka Gonzalo and little big bro, uh little medium bro, Paul. You know what I'm saying? Start calling him the wizard or some shit, man. He's fool's spiritual and all kinds of shit. But it's a fucking dope ass show. Check that shit out too, man. Empty Orchestra, fucking Three-Way Street Podcast, and of course my show, YeahDat, the motherfucking podcast. So, what is good with everybody, man? What's going on with y'all? So today, like I said this morning, I was walking into work, right? And we talked about on the last Three-Way Street podcast, we talked about experiences and people, experience and knowledge. like Paul said, we were talking about this. We covered this on the last Three Way Street podcast. Like I said, experiences and knowledge, it doesn't come with a set number. It's a set age number. For example, I'm 36 now. Me personally, I have guys who are like 19, 18 who work for me. And with that being said, me personally, I don't look at them as well. I look at them as, they're young as fuck. However, at the same time, I don't take away from them that they might know some shit or experience some things that I may not have. Now, mind you, I've been through a lot of shit. I've experienced a lot, a lot. Trust me. I've been through a lot of shit in my 36 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been raised in all kinds of cultures. So I've experienced a lot. So I may not know or know per se exactly what people are going through, but I can relate to a lot of it. But with that being said, I don't um let's see, well, how do I word this? So, you know, I don't downplay anybody like an 18-year-old for example. I don't downplay that they have gone through something or experienced something that has helped them in life or impacted their life and made them better or can help make me better, which that's something that I see a lot. Like I said, we talked about it in the last episode of the Three Way Street podcast. And I see in my line of work, I see it a lot where motherfuckers, because of their position or their rank or who they are in the chain of command or whatever, feel as if because they are of higher ranking or at a higher tier level or whatever, that they know it all, seen it all, been through it all. And like I said, I've seen it. And with seeing that, I've also seen the failure behind it because like motherfuckers, y'all don't know shit just because like for example, I have one right now. There's a person in my rank or chain of command who is ranked higher than me. However, I've been in way longer than this person. But at, like this person, I will watch them, and the stuff that the person does to me is like what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why aren't you coming to not just to me, but to another person same rank as me who's been in probably a half a year or a year less, but been in about 10 years more than you. Like, why aren't you going to these people and asking or running shit by? I'm not saying you have to, but to me, it's like the logical thing is to get, you know what I'm saying, talk to people and see what works, see what doesn't, because you know what I'm saying people have been successful or they got to where they are now because of trials and tribulations. And I bring this all up because I was walking to work today and like I said, I was tired. I was tired. And I don't know. I hopped out my truck. I didn't park in the garage today. I parked along the street and hopped out. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I kind of had a little pep in my step when I walked out. Maybe it was because the coffee I drank on the way. But I was walking and I was just thinking because when I walk to work, I'm a big I'm observant of my surroundings. It's because I know just growing up in San Diego, like when you walk down the street, because you walk everywhere. You walked everywhere. So I would walk blocks. I mean, no problem, no fucking issues. Because it was always a beautiful day. It wasn't too hot. It felt good. I would walk blocks to either my homie's house, the homegirl's house, my girl's house, or whatever. And once I got to my homie's house, we would pick them up. Then we would go walk blocks to another homie's house, and then fucking from that homie's house to the store or whatever the fuck. So I'm just used to walking, but when we would walk, it was always looking back. You know what I'm saying? Watching your back because you don't know who's walking up trying to jump you or whatever. So to this day, that sticks with me. So I'm walking. I'm always head on swivel, looking around, and you see people, and I love people. I'm a people person. Um, I just like observing other people and just how they walk and or whatever was going on. So I'm walking through this parking lot, and I work downtown in this certain city where there's courthouses, there's like just business folk around. Like you'll see the other week I saw like a new Bentley. It wasn't like a continental. I've never even heard of this Bentley. That shit was clean as a motherfucker. Yeah, dude hopped out, went across the street to the courthouse. But business business folk, that's who you see. So there was this lady in front of me. Like we're both walking towards the the street, getting ready to cross. She's pulling. She had a box with like it was one of those boxes with the handles on it, like the type if you get fired, you have the box and you're throwing all your shit in the fucking box and you carry it and you put it out. Like I cleaned out my desk. That one of them type of boxes. She had one of those. She had it looked like a pelican case and then another thing on top of it. So it was all stacked up and she's pulling it. Now she's in a business suit. And then she's a stocky lady. She's probably about 5'8", fucking stocky, looking like she can fucking put me in a torture rack type shit. And she's pulling this fucking thing, heels, business suit, smoking a cigarette. And she's just walking. And I'm walking diagonally towards her and she's walking. She don't even look my way, smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? But when we get to the curve, look both ways, we both cross the street. And I'm looking at her and I'm just like, this lady looks like she's about fucking business. But at the same time, she looked like she's you just get the vibe, like some how you can catch people's vibes sometimes. Like the vibe I was getting off her was like, man, you're fucking back to work, motherfucking been slammed all weekend with calls when I've been at the beach sipping pina coladas. Now I gotta go in this motherfucking office, answer these fucking phone calls. I got this for my caseload. It was just like one of those, like the vibe I was getting off her was just like, oh, she's about to fuck some shit up today. Man, I don't even want to fucking say hello to this lady. But then she crosses the street and then her phone rings. So I cross the street. I'm behind her. I cross the street and I bend over to fix my boot. And then her phone rings and she's like, "Oh yeah, hey, hello. Oh yeah, thanks for that." She's standing on the curb smoking, throws it down, steps on it, puts it out. So, oh yeah, yeah, you made the call. Thank you for making the call. Blah blah blah. And I just walk by her and I'm just like, I hope that lady has a good fucking day. I just hope she had a good fucking day. I don't know what it was about her in particular, but everything about that lady like caught my eye. And it's not even the fact that she was like an attractive lady because she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? She was like, she was one of them ladies that was like, yo, let's go to the fucking bar. Let me fucking undo my tie. Meet me at the motherfucking pub and let's fucking put down some beers type lady. But I don't know, there was something about her when I was walking up and I was just like, damn, look at this lady, man. Okay. I wonder what her story is. That's ultimately what it was. I wonder what her story is because people intrigue me. And it just reminded me of back on deployment when me and Empty Orchestra Gonzalo, we used to sit on what we called the stoop, which was in the hangar bay. And I actually started it off. You know what I'm saying? I'm claiming that right now. I'm the originator. Or I'll say I'm one of the co-founders because me and fucking Gonzalo actually fucking posted up. But I used to sit out there by myself because I was rather new. So I would sit out there And then he would come out there and we would just sit out there for hours. And we've spoke about this on past episodes of on YeahDat. Actually, it was the first episode, I believe, or the second episode, because he was my first guest. And we just talked about the stoop and being out there and just people watching. And I don't know. I seen the lady. It reminded me of chilling on the stoop and people watching, and it made me kind of reassess, um, like my field of study because I was listening to a podcast today. I was actually listening to the Empty Orchestra on the way to work, and he was talking. Gonzalo was talking about going to the movies and smashing popcorn, and he was just going in about it. Which y'all should go listen to the episode. It's fucking episode number 5. Congratulations on episode number 5. And he was just talking about smashing popcorn and all that stuff and going in about it. And me personally, I'm one of those people he was talking about because I don't care if I just came from a buffet and I fucking put down 17 plates of fucking full ass food. If I'm going to a movie, I have a large tub of fucking popcorn and I'm smashing the whole fucking thing. And then I'm going and getting seconds, getting a refill, and I'm smashing about 3/4 of it. And then I'm walking out with the rest. I have it in the house and I eat the rest the next day. Every time. It just happens every time. And like I'm a big movie buff. Me and my wife, big movie heads, love movies. Every time I go to a flick, a movie, I have the tub of popcorn and I'm smashing it, regardless if I'm full or not. I am smashing it, and all that is because of the um the food environment, and it brought it back because it's something I studied when I'm studying health and nutrition, and one of the classes we took was world obesity or was obesity. So a big aspect of obesity is food environment, and we had to do a paper about it and all that stuff. And it was just thinking about Gonzalo was and him talking about popcorn. It brought it back to me because I'm like, yeah, that's just me, and it's the food environment. I have to. If I go to a movie, I have to have a large tub of popcorn, and I have to eat the whole fucking thing off. And I'm smashing it during the previews, before the fucking previews, and then um, I actually smash the large popcorn before the movie starts, before the previews actually start. Then I go and get it refilled, and then I have the whole fucking thing during the movie. So, but it all goes back to fucking food environment, and then this all goes back to the field of study, which I was saying, because now, so I did health and nutrition. I got certified in health and nutrition, and a nutritionist, and I am studying public relations. I'm working towards public relations now because of um, being just adoring people and like meeting new people, and you know what I'm saying, and that type of shit. So I'm working towards the bachelor's in public relations. But the lady and just like this morning and thinking about it has really made me want to pursue anthropology, which is the study of people, you know, and just and everything that correlates with people, like what makes you you, and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just found that interesting today, and then I get into the building, and it's just like zombie mode. I get in. Actually, it wasn't zombie mode because we're fucking all the dudes in there were talking about fantasy football because we had a fantasy football draft, and everybody was talking about their squad and how their squad is hard and how they're gonna take everybody's money and yada yada yada. You know, the typical shit. Like, oh, I'm nice at fantasy football, just like everybody's nice at Madden or everybody's nice at 2K. It was typical shit. So I went to work. We were chopping it up about that. I did some fucking computer work because I work in a fucking cubicle. I swear it feels like the office. I ain't complaining though. I'm saying it's easy work. Don't mind it. But then I came home, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, anthropology is just I think after I get the degree in public relations, I think I'm gonna go and get another one. Have that double bachelor's, man. One in public relations and then one in fucking anthropology. Just because of fucking people and how people are intriguing as fuck, man, because there's just different stories. You know what I mean? Everyone has a story. Everyone has a chapter. Like you can literally write a book. And I wonder if there's really a book, if there's a book out there based off what I'm about to say right now. So you can write a book and you can literally write a chapter on based off of a different person. So like right now, I'm thinking if I were to write a book, say I have 20 chapters in the book. Each chapter can be a story from a different person. You know what I'm saying? So chapter 1, meeting Christopher from Texas. Blah blah blah. This, and this, and just describing something about Christopher and his life. Blah 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 blah. And chapter 2, Stephanie. This is blah 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 blah. Chapter 3, and it's just a different something interesting or some experience or something that happened from that person. You can literally write a fucking book based off of people's different experiences and shit like that, which is fucking crazy. And if there is a book out there like that, please send me a message, drop it in the comments, let me know. I will most definitely read that shit and check it out. Then shout you out for giving me the fucking um for dropping it down and plugging it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. I felt like I kind of fucking ranted, which oh well. But yeah, people's experiences. People are just despite the age, people's experiences and knowledge differ. And just because you're older doesn't mean you have more experience or knowledge or whatever than said younger person. You know what I'm saying? Like the homie Paul said, there's not a number, there's not a said number on experience. Like, oh yeah, you aren't knowledgeable or experienced until you hit fucking 31. I mean, it's not written anywhere. That's not written anywhere. So for those of you out there listening and who are leaders or high ranking or top tier in your company or whatever, just because you're up there doesn't mean your new hire or your intern or whomever young is or new to the company doesn't have something knowledgeable or an experience that they've experienced that can help benefit you or help, you know what I'm saying, inspire or motivate you because of, you know, the gap or the experience or whatever. So I don't know. I just thought I found that interesting, and I don't know. That's just something I always kind of live by. I mean, you treat people like people, and in the military, it's something that isn't really. Well, now they're trying to preach it, but then at the same time, it's like it's hypocrisy. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you need to do this, do this, do this, but then when the time comes, it doesn't happen. Me, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying, people fuck with me. You either fuck with me or you don't. If you don't, it's all good. Just you can go to that team, add you to that list of names, you know what I'm saying? Just be another player on that team of people who don't fuck with me. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna sleep at night. But I don't know. I don't know why that came to mind. I just thought it was an interesting thing. And I think we're gonna kind of go into um something a little more in depth in regards to that topic or something that correlates to it in the next Three-Way Street podcast. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already on all platforms. But yeah, I don't know that lady. I wasn't even checking her out. It was just on some like people shit. Because of course, when you're downtown, there's a lot of homeless people too. So it's just you see the homeless people and you want to know their story too, which that brings me to a story. Um, so my mom, like growing, my mom's Filipino, Filipinos, for all my Filipino people out there, I'm saying? Shout out to you. Yeah, that. Um, they have a lot of friends, but then a lot of them they so they have a lot of friends, and then they always end up beefing, and they always fall out, but then come back and be friends and shit like that. I don't know. I seen it happen a lot with my mom and her homegirls and shit. But there was this one in particular that she would come by, and she was like a long time homegirl of my mom's, and she was good looking too, man. She was like one of the better looking friends my mom had, and she would come over, you know what I'm saying, chop it up, whoop, 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 this, and this. And then she stopped coming around. And I remember I was around probably 12 or 13. And I asked my mom one time, I was like, whatever happened to, how come I don't see whoop, whoop anymore? And then my mom was like, oh, I don't talk to her anymore. And I was like, oh, why? You know what I'm saying? What? Being that fucking kid, swearing you're older than what you are. You know what I mean? You know everything and can handle everything. I'm like, why? So my mom's just like, no, I just don't. I just don't talk to her. I just stopped talking to her. I was like, oh, okay. So, being this kid or preteen and teen, I was probably 13. Yeah, I was probably 13. I think I was 13 and 13, 14. So then, like I said, you walk everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You walk to homies' houses, you know what I mean, before you started driving and shit, or before you started stealing cars and driving them shits around. Uh, I was walking to one of my homies' uh, houses, and I think I was going to my little bro Ron's crib, to the blue and white apartments. Shout out to everybody who lived in the blue and white apartments. Yeah, that we never got in there, but I lived down the street. I stayed over there. Yeah, that blue and white apartments. But I was walking to somebody's house who lived over there, and there was, you see a homeless person walk up and down the street. It's a common thing. If they're on the same side of the street as you just cross the street and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. And there was this lady I would see, and I'm just like who's this lady? Like, you know who's from your fucking who's in your neighborhood. Like, you're fucking, like I told homies back in the day, I'm from a barrio. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a barrio. So fucking, who's fucking the regulars in your shit. But there was this like new homeless lady, like this homeless lady that would walk up and down the block. Never really paid her no attention. But this one particular day I'm walking, and she's across the street, and we're walking in the opposite directions. So I'm walking, you know what I'm saying, looking around, looking back, being observant. And I'm looking at this lady because she's walking towards me. She's obviously homeless, and she's just talking to herself, obviously. She's high or something, just talking, talking, talking. Just like, yeah, yeah, just talking loud to herself as she's walking. Just, you know what I mean? Typical, like, you know what I mean, kind of out of there type shit. She's walking, and the closer she gets, I'm looking, and I fucking recognize the lady, and it's my mom's friend that I asked her about, that I inquired about. And I was like, wow, what in the fuck? So I stop. I stop, and I'm looking, and she's just talking to herself, like, gone, just walking and just blah 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 blah. And I'm just like fucking shocked, like, oh my god. And like I said, she was a good looking, one of the better looking friends my mom had. And it was just shocking to see. So, I keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh my God, fucking wow. So I just keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? Go about my day, go to wherever I was going, to one of the homies' cribs, come back home before the lights came on, or came home for lunch, or some shit to eat, or grab a snack or something, grab water. And my mom was chilling. So I asked her, Mom, guess who I saw today? She's like, who? I saw woo. And I was like, she was, she looked like she was homeless and she was like talking to herself and like she just seemed like I don't want to say crazy because it's just I mean it's just not if I feel like it's distasteful, but it's like she was just out there. So I tell her I'm like back in the day, you that's what you say. That's what you said. So I told her I was like, yeah, like she was talking to herself like she was crazy. And then my mom goes, yeah, like you asked why I stopped talking to her and stopped hanging out because she was doing drugs and she wanted me to she asked if I wanted to do it. And I'm like, no. I told her I was like, don't come by my house if you're doing that stuff. And that's why we don't I don't hang out with her anymore. And I was like, holy shit. It's crazy. I don't know what brought this. Oh, because I see homeless people downtown going to work, but and it just reminded me of that. But I don't know. I just thought that was the craziest thing, and I always thought about her because then I would see her more often. Like, oh fuck, there she goes again. Oh my god, like it's fucking crazy. Like she was nice, and then like she was. I was fucking like 12, 13, but easily I would have fucking like. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was easily to her. It was like, fuck. It's just like I want to know what happened. Like wow. You know what I'm saying? It's like what was her story? Like what was the reasoning behind that? Because I think she had kids or a kid or something. Because my mom fell out with a lot of homegirls, and I know, like knowing how my mom was, it was for good reason. But that one in particular, it was like I wonder how or what like what did she hit too much and just got on it and just I know that itch, you know what I mean? Just like it's crazy to see and experience that like firsthand. So like I said, people have stories. People are interesting. We are an interesting species. Um so yeah, once I finish my my public relationship, I think I'm gonna pursue anthropology. And it's crazy because when I in the last episode or episode before last, I mentioned it was my anniversary. My wife and I went to dinner to the little fancy spot, and our waiter, I mentioned my waiter, who all he knew was fucking fine dining and breathing and shit. He was a college student and he was studying anthropology, and it's just like it's crazy. And I always think anthropology. I always think about fucking uh, Professor Lasky and fucking Saved by the Bell, the college years. He taught anthropology. So anthropology must have some hidden, there must be some subliminal that's fucking floating around my world or some shit. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, you know, that's that was my weekend and that's been my day in a nutshell. I'm still fucking tired. I'm glad my oldest doesn't have practice today. Yes. So I get to chill. Um I'm about to I'm about to go smash some food too, man. I ate when I got home 3 hours ago, but it's about time to eat again. Thinking I want to work out, but you got to listen to your body, man. You know what I'm saying? So listening to my body, I'm gonna work out because I'm not that fucking tired. Drink a fucking monster or some shit. But I've been riding my bike a lot more. Um, so I've officially been cycling for a year now. Oh, about September. Yeah, about 13 months, some shit. I started back in COVID, started cycling, you know, gained a lot of experience doing so. And I I upgraded bikes and shit earlier in the year. And now I'm riding, averaging in the double digits, which is cool, man. I rode my bike I rode my bike on Friday and I went 13 miles, I think. No, I went 8. No, I went 9 or some shit like that because I went and I tried this new route inside this fucking country club that's all gated. But I get in there because I'm on a bicycle. So I tried out this new country club and shit, riding all through the country club, whatever. And I fucked up that day because it was towards the latter end of the ride. And that day I was like sprinting, which sprinting on a bike is like going hard, boom, hard in the paint, just boom, 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 boom. So I was sprinting like certain inclines, and I was doing flats and shit. So I'm like, I'm about to go in this fucking. I've always wanted to go in here. I'm about to go in here, so I can. I can on this bike, so I'm about to do it. So I go in there and I'm riding. I'm like, cool. But then it was like hilly as fuck. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, you riding a new course before and it's hilly. It's like fuck. But anyway, I go in there, ride it. You know what I'm saying? This was Friday, and it was a good ride. Good leg workout. Saturday I had the two games. Then Sunday we had the two games, and then I rode yesterday, which I hit another little new area, which I combined. So what I do normally is like I deal with the Strava app, where there are already courses and segments that people fucking ride. But then what I do is I'll go find like little areas or courses or segments, and I'll ride them, and then I'll come back. I'll track them on my little fucking on the Garmin. I'm tracking to see the distance or whatever, and then I'll take everything. I'll put them all together, and then I'll just make it one big ass fucking course, and then ride that shit. So I took two segments yesterday, and then I added a new little section through this other little neighborhood, which was nice. Had a fucking hill that was like motherfucker, like damn. So, and I was going hard too. I hit this fucking bend. I went. It's off this main strip. You turn into the neighborhood. It's a decline. You go all the way down, hit the cul-de-sac. Then there's a fucking street that bounces off the main street and it loops around to the main street. But then when you loop back to the main street, it's like the highest fucking incline point. So I'm hitting it. I'm like, oh my god. So I'm pedaling like a motherfucker, just seated pedaling too, because I wanted to work the legs. So I'm seating and I'm fucking pedaling, blah, 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 get to the top. So I added that to the country club and then another part, and it came out to being 11 something. And I was like, what? Ain't no fucking way. Like if I added this, and this, it should have been easily a fucking 12, 13 miles, whatever, whatever, but whatever. So now I got them two little pieces, and I'm gonna add them to uh, another piece that I've written before, and then I'm gonna put them all together, see what they get. I think I'm estimating it's around 16, 17, and then I got another little segment. So that's how I gauge it. That's how I gauge myself or kind of push myself, depending on how I feel when I get on the bike and shit. But yeah, I've been riding my bike a lot more. Um, Max speed I hit was 30 miles, what was it, like 30.4 miles per hour. And that's on a flat, by the way. Motherfuckers are like, oh man, 30, he's probably going down the hill. No, motherfucker, that's on a flat, baby. That's the power. Power in them legs. Oh yeah. Before I got my new bike, my average speed, I think the max speed I've hit was 26. And that was on a less um on a lesser expensive bike. So for those of you out there cycling, like I got a buddy, he's inquiring about starting cycling and shit. And dudes at work too, the same thing. They're wanting to cycle and shit. But I tell you right now, cycling is expensive as fuck. It's an expensive ass sport. It's fucking dope as shit though. I'll tell you that right now. And then it's like I told the dudes at work, like, man, it's the freshest motherfucking one of the freshest sports. Like you can look so fucking fresh. It's not even funny with the kit and the glasses and the socks and the helmet and shit. That shit is fresh, man. You can look sick, have a sick ass bike, but it's an expensive ass sport. My first bike I got was a specialized Ale, and that's like bottom tier because you have there's like Ale, there's Ale Elite, Ale, fucking all that shit. But I had the Ale, and that ran for 900. And when I bought it at the time, I'm like, fuck, That's a lot of fucking money. $900, my fucking god. So I'm thinking, I was like, oh yeah, it's a specialized. Hell yeah. This is last year when I was starting. So I'm like, all right, LA, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting. But I got me an official bike, got the drop bars and shit. But then you get the bike, you ride, you learn how to fucking change gears and all that shit. And the more you learn about the sport, it's like, fuck, I got like a I got a beginner motherfucking bike, man. Like fuck, now I gotta upgrade. So treat it like a motorcycle. When you when I started to learn how to ride a motorcycle, I was always told don't start off with a little bike because once you ride the shit out the little bike like a 600cc, you're gonna want a fucking thousand, or you're gonna want a fucking 1100. So just go ahead and buy 1,000 right off rip. That way you ain't gotta fucking sell and upgrade and all that shit. Cycling's the same thing. Don't buy a bullshit ass fucking bike. I mean, buy a name brand bike, but start off like I would recommend starting off like don't start beginner, start like mid tier. You know what I'm saying? Max at least. That way you can upgrade components and all that stuff because once you start learning and getting into it, it's going to be like, well, I need to sell my bike now. And yeah, the resale value isn't as much as what I paid for. And yeah, I mean, fortunately, I got back what I paid for my bike because I sold wheels too, which actually did I get back? Yeah, I got back everything actually. So I bought some carbon fiber wheels. For those of you who fuck with me on the IG, they're like 60 centimeters or 60 millimeters. The deep dishes. I sold those because they weren't compatible to my current bike. So I sold those for I think I took a hit on those about $100. But my bike I sold for what I paid for it to another dude who was buying it for another dude that he knew. So I upgraded bikes to my current bike. The Trek Madone is an expensive fucking bike. It's like it's the top fucking model that Trek makes. The Trek Madone. I got the Project One, so it's all carbon fiber. So I got a top tier bike, but I paid a good fucking penny for it. A couple of bands, a couple of K's, a couple stacks, so however y'all, whatever slang y'all want to use, a couple of $1,000 is what I paid for my fucking bike. And then now I got to upgrade. I want to upgrade handlebars and get a fucking uh, handlebar stem combo to make that shit look more aerodynamic. And the handlebars I'm getting from Trek is $6.99. Just to give you a fucking heads up of how expensive the sport is, and that's $6.99, like $699 for some handlebars. So, just to give you a heads up, cycling is expensive. However, once you get in it, that shit is addicting. And like I told the dudes at work, because you already know the perception is there. Even with my big bro, he was like, I remember telling him I cycle, and he's like, "What? Oh, you know what I'm saying?" But one, that shit is therapeutic, man. That you just get out there, you're riding full, and it's just like you're chilling. You're riding, you're just chilling. And then um fuck, I just lost my train of thought. It's therapeutic. And it's just damn, I lost my fucking train of thought. But cycling is legit, man. Damn, what the fuck was I gonna say? It's therapeutic. And, oh, yeah, fucking oh yeah. When you were a kid, you know what I'm saying? Riding a bike was the shit. You know what I'm saying? You didn't think twice. You know what I'm saying? So why is it now that you're an adult riding a bike is kind of like oh fucking lame or whatever? You know what I'm saying? What difference does it make? What only kids ride bikes? You know what I'm saying? You can get paid to ride bike, and that goes back to the beginning of the episode when you're talking about being pro at something. You can be a pro bike rider. You know what I'm saying? Mountain bike, road bike, whatever the fuck. Saying just something to think about, man. But on that note, I'm going to end it right here, y'all. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in to another episode of YeahDat the podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Rob. Please be sure to rate and for those of you listening, you know what I'm saying, give me a rating on whatever platform you're listening to the podcast on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, uh, Radio Pod, uh, whatever. Make sure you give me a rating. Uh, suggest it to your friends, man. Pass it to your friends. For those of you on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you give me that motherfucking like. You know what I'm saying? Comment below. Comment below on everything on the podcast platforms and on YouTube. Let me know what you think. And the questions I asked on the earlier in the fucking an episode, I forgot what I fucking said, man. But oh, the book. If there's a book out there with chapters based on people, let me know. Excuse me, in the comments below, because I will gladly read that shit. And yeah, make sure you check me out on all social media platforms. Twitter, West Coast underscore Rob, IG West Coast underscore Rob. I'm on that TikTok, same handle, West Coast underscore Rob. Go to blenderseyewear.com. Use promo code West Coast Rob, one word, and save you some money on some fucking dope ass shades. You want some fucking, it's bulking season coming up. You know what I'm saying? Summer's ending. Go to blackstonelabs.com, get you some supplements. Use promo code West Coast underscore Rob and save you some fucking money there as well. Check out solowarriorsocks.com also, man. There's some dope ass socks. They hooked me up with some. I wear them when I cycle, when I train, when I go for a run. They're comfortable as fuck. It's like not even wearing socks. I mean, them bitches are, they're compression. They feel good. Solowarriorsocks.com. Promo code Warrior Rob and save you some money there, man. Also check out Three-Way Street Podcast with my fucking brothers Paul and fucking Gonzalo. Check out the Empty Orchestra podcast. Hit up Empty Orchestra, the.empty.orchestra on IG as well. Check him out on twitch.tv and just check out everybody who fucks with me. And for those of you out there, I'm just letting you know when I plug some shit, if I'm suggesting like products or whatever, is because I legit fuck with them. I'm not gonna plug nothing and give you a promo code that I have. I don't have a promo code for something I don't fuck with. But if it's something I'm fucking plugging or suggesting to you guys, it's because I truly fuck with it and I want you guys to have like good quality shit. So just want to clear the air right there, man. But thank you again for listening to the podcast, checking me out. Until the next episode, it's on West Coast Rob signing out. Thank you again. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And to the next one, yeah, that.